And it's a familiar scene for Minnesota sports fans who've witnessed their share of disappointments in the postseason. It becomes an annual story, and not just in football. So what keeps them going year after year, choke after choke? That's what Ian Russell tried to find out.
If you weren't on social media after last night's Vikings playoff game against the Rams, consider yourself lucky. Thousands of Vikings fans took to X to vent their frustration about the team's collapse, and plenty of others made fun of the curse of Minnesota sports as well. Sam Ekstrom among those commiserating last night's loss.
It's a lot of deflation, and it feels like now a trend of the Kevin O'Connell era.
Ekstrom is the executive producer of Locked On Sports Minnesota, covering all of our teams here in the Twin Cities. He knows better than most that last night's loss isn't just painful, it feels all too familiar.
We're into our 34th year without one of the big four, professional sports teams even being in a championship, going back to the Twins in 91.
That's not to say that Minnesota sports have been entirely cursed. Remember, the Lynx had a legendary run of 4 championships in 7 years, and the newly named Minnesota Frost won the first ever PWHL championship last season, but the rest of our franchises can't seem to make it to that same level.
That's what gets people's spirits down the most, is that you're constantly being jerked around and thinking that you've got something here. This is going to be the curse-breaking team, only to have them fall flat. And oftentimes, in the way the Vikings did, falling flat before you even get a taste of that championship.
Just look at our teams this past year. The Timberwolves rallying to beat the Nuggets, only to lose to the Mavericks in the conference finals. The Wild missed the playoffs. The Loons got bounced by the eventual champions. And the Lynx lost a heartbreaking Game 5. Year after year, that much pain begs the question, why do we put ourselves through that? Because misery sure does love company.
It's like we just are destined for heartbreak and disappointment. Dashed hopes, broken dreams.
Doug Hartman is a sociology professor at the U, but he's also a Minnesota sports fan.
Maybe this will be the season. It's maybe Charlie Brownish of us, but never quite let go of our hopes.
He understands just as well as the rest of us the highs and lows that come with being a fan of Minnesota sports, regardless of if the teams are cursed or not. He says we tough it out because in all those highs and lows, at least we're not alone.
Sports is one of those things that still has that kind of communal aspect that binds us together, that creates solidarity and connections in many people's lives and daily practice. It's part of who they are, what they do, what they care about.
And for the ones who grew up as fans of these teams, quitting was never really an option anyway.
Fandom's not really a choice. Walking away from it is not an option. So the suffering, the pain that comes with defeat is kind of part of the deal.
So just know this, Minnesota sports fans, you're not alone. And with so many teams in the Metro, there's always somebody to cheer for.
Yeah, I'll just spout the ultimate coach cliche that you got to be in love with the process, and it's not always about the results. You have to enjoy the journey.
That journey sure is full of twists and turns. Hard to say that after last night's game. Like I said, there are other sports to root for right now. The Wolves, Wild, Frost. There's good news. They're above 500, and the Frost are at the top of the PWHL standing. So it is tough, but good news at the very least.
That silver lining was like a knife twist.
Yeah.
Dude. No one wanted to hear that. All right. Thank you, Ian. Appreciate it.